kind wild ones, it's Bernadette. I am pre-recording on this Sunday. You might notice I have the same hairband and the same hair, and same colors, but different, so that you would know which video was who on what day, because I never do. I never get my dates right. You guys are always so patient with me. Oh, I gotta get joked about that like you can't imagine. But I am here with your pick a card tarot reading, and the reading is for Monday the 8th of February 2021. And I love it because man, you know, there are just some cards that when the reversal of them comes up, you're like, that's awesome. It still means all the great stuff anyway. There just might be a little bit of a delay. And that, my good friends, this morning is the Hummingbird, which is the Four of Wands in my Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Now, who doesn't love hummingbirds? Who doesn't love them? They're the cutest little things ever. And they just are, you know, if you've ever seen pictures of them up close, they're so magical, and they dart here and they dart there, and their little wings and their, you know, their colors are so gossamer, and oh my gosh, the colors that hummingbirds come in. But if you've ever seen them close up, if you've ever seen the pictures of the angry bluebird, that real fat bluebird that's just sitting on that, you know, he's got that look. I used to tell my ex-husband he looked like the angry bluebird, because he really did. And he's just sitting there and he looks really, really angry. Hummingbirds look like that all the time. They've just got this almost, and they kind of remind me of little Klingons, you know? Well, not really Klingons, but Dr. Spock with those little... let me tell you where I'm going with all of this. There is something crazy outer off-world that's going on in the collective that is the wild pack. When I check in on y'all energetically, or have checked in on y'all energetically, just the last week, I don't know what it is. I've been asked to be shown what it is. Oh, there goes her royal fatness, the calico cat that's hated me for years. Even she's hated me for years. Calicos are so sassy. But there's something truly magical and mystical going on that is propelling each of you forward in ways that is, it could be a little scary. If you're seeing it for what it is, it could be super jubilant. And it all is centering around love. What I mean by that is, if you take a look at the traditional, you know, the tarot card meanings for the Four of Wands, it's a card, you know, there are two people, and there's a canopy full of grapes and roses and all, you know, all of the gold staffs and the gold glow in the back, and the white castle with the red top, and, you know, everything is about prosperity and peace. But when it's inverted, it also means romance, like romance, right? But normally, just, you know, generally speaking, let's not say normally, because there's nothing normal in my world. I'm sure there's not in yours either, right? But generally speaking, that is about a relationship human to human. But that could be anything that you're currently in love with. You could have gotten, you know, rescued a kitty cat, or you could have started volunteering at an animal sanctuary, right? Because we always want to do good for animals. You could have a business that you're just like, oh my God, I'm so in love with this. I can't wait to do this, this, and this. But generally speaking, it is about human to human. This card is nothing but a big old party. I mean, you know, you see the people in the back, they might as well have candles, you know, they're going to throw that. Everybody's having a good time. And they're celebrating together. They've accomplished something really beautiful together. And that's why it's called, the Kabbalists call this card, the Four of Wands, the Lord of Perfected Work. And that's because mostly, even though you've been working with other people, you've been leading the pack. You've been the Aries, right? I gotta move on. I gotta move on. It's all about the fire. I'm going. And when you take a look at that canopy, it doesn't matter what religion or what faith you're in. Canopies are a really, really big deal to, you know, any kind of sacred ritual, hand fasting, marriage, baptizing, or anything that's, you know, that's like that. there are always canopies erected for that, for parties, this and that. So it really, and especially when you start, putting lavish roses and grapes, and, grapes are fertility and abundance, and, red roses, they're about passion and love. And it's, even though the wedding may be metaphorical, like you may not be, out tasting, desserts or what your main course is going to be or whatever, it's still a commitment. It's a deep, deep, deep soul commitment, a true marriage to this person or this idea or this plan or whatever. But it comes from the most authentic, just, I don't know, it's that stuff that they write books about, and they pen songs about, and they make movies about. It's the truest of truest. Like, I would take a bullet for that person. It's like that. And it could be very showy, but it could just be that deep, abiding knowing. It could be either of those things, but they both are getting to the same thing. And that is that deep, 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 deep connection that just kind of like where one begins, the other one ends, but you're not really sure where that is. It's just kind of this whole circular thing. And everybody around you is noticing. It's like people are like, did you get your hair cut? Are you wearing new makeup? Did you get a new blouse? Did you whatever? It's none of those things. It's such that glow from inside. It's a heightened spiritual awareness. It's a heightened awareness, period, to anything or anybody that spells love. It just feels like love to you. You're like a pointer dog. You're on it. You can feel it, smell it, taste it, sense it from, I don't even know, miles away. It's like if you see the number of a friend or a relative and you're like, did they just get engaged, or are they pregnant? You're probably going to be right. You're very attuned to all of that now, right? And the pregnancy doesn't necessarily have to be a human pregnancy. The pregnancy can be, they are giving birth to a book, a business, you get it, right? Okay. The cool thing about the Four of Wands tarot, that card, in terms of symbolism and meaning, is that if it's inverted, it means all the same things as when it is upright. And we're dealing with the number 4, so it's all about stability. It's all about strength. It's all about something that's going to last a long, long time. All that the Four of Wands inverted does is say, okay, it's still coming, but you know what? The train's running a half an hour behind. What's 30 more minutes between people that are getting what they want, right? When you see this card and you start thinking, well, okay, so what's the added energy that a hummingbird would bring, and then inverted? Well, listen, at the end of the day, what negative traits can hummingbirds have? Like, usually when an animal, like they are in my deck, because everything is Rider Waite based, when there's an animal attached to the card, and it's inverted, it's about the challenges of that animal. So like if you're dealing with a rhino or a hippo or somebody that is aggressive or can, do you harm, you're going with their more challenging traits. What can possibly be challenging about a hummingbird? About the only thing that I can think of is that they don't come when you want them to be there. You're like, hey, I got 20 minutes I can spend on my porch. Where are you people? Where are you two-legged peoples? Or your two-winged peoples? Where are you? And then you're driving out of your driveway to go to work or whatever, and the whole flock of them come to your feeders. Dang it. So I just don't see any I don't see any downside, which is cool. Do you know it just hit me that today is Monday and the ruling planet is Venus? No joke. It just hit me. Dirt. So and the moon energy is today. It's Monday. So now you've got all the feminine love, receptive. Listen, if half y'all don't write me and tell me you're engaged to be married or just ran off to Vegas or ran off to the piece of justice of the peace and got married today, or you signed on the dotted line to buy a house, a car, I don't know what it is, but today, this should be Valentine's Day with all this kind of powerful love energy going on. It's just nuts. So the only thing that I will say is that when Hummingbird does come, they are such messengers of hope and renewal. And so certainly with love is going to come the hope of great love, the hope of true love. If y'all are wondering what that noise is, that's my dog Hop. She's been snoring up a storm all morning long. So if you're having a little bit of a challenge really committing to being able to hope or be in a place where you can be hopeful, this is the time to shake it off. Start drawing down that moon energy. Start working with your, the chakra of the day is the root chakra. And no matter what goes on in our heart, we can get that lodged in our root chakra. That can become our foundation. So it can become love can become your foundation, even in a very positive way, where you're very trusting, and you just, intimacy is your jam, of all kinds, physical, emotional, mental. Or you can be the opposite, and that's what roots in you. And that's where you approach, that's how you see everything, is through that filter. That's how you approach everything and everybody. Or the opposite may be true. You may have had your heart just, taken down with a sledgehammer, or maybe a big old, monster truck drove over or something. And you're just not even really interested in picking up the pieces. Even if there are two pieces that fit perfectly back together again, you're just not interested. You're like, nope, that will never happen in my lifetime again. That can get lodged in your root chakra, and even if intellectually or in your heart chakra down the line you think that you want to experience, the healing of that, and you want to work through that change so that you can then, in those sacred spaces and places, bring that love, that kind of love, back into your life. You're going to have to look deeper than that. You're going to have to go down to your heart chakra. So there's a little bit to unpack today as regards love. Or you can just go buy a few bouquets and dress in a toga, set up a canopy, and have morning margaritas. That would be my advice. If I were giving advice, which I'm not. But today should just be some kind of really love infested. You should just be infested with love, right? So I wish you the best. Oh, y'all. I wish you the best infestation there ever has been or ever will be. I do. And I hope that you don't unsubscribe. I hope that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. And just join me every day for the metaphysical kerfuffle tomfoolery with the spiritual crash test dummy. That's me. I love you, and as always, stay wild.